Hey guys, Brendan, by the way, that audio guide. Today we're going to be talking about buses, auxiliary tracks, or sends as they are sometimes known. So I'm just going to break this down into a very easy to follow format. So let's pretend that we have these 4 tracks right here, all right? And so they are being routed to our master bus, master fader, okay, which is basically the sum. All tracks go to that stereo out if they are telling so. So we're using logic tracks right now. So these are being routed to our stereo out. Now let's pretend that we want to put a reverb on these tracks. So we throw on a reverb. Okay, so, and we put this logic space designer because we want all of them to have the same kind of atmosphere. But over time, that will start to wear on your CPU because reverb takes up a lot of CPU space. And wouldn't it be nice if we could just pick one reverb with one setting and then all instruments would use that exact same reverb without having to say, oh yeah, what was that setting again, and copy it over every single time? Well, that's where a bus comes in. So a bus or auxiliary track serves as a destination for routing signals. So let's pretend that we bag the reverb on these tracks and put them on our bus. So we do the exact same reverb but only on one track. So it lowers your CPU usage. Okay, now we do what we call sends. So we are now sending signal of each track to this reverb. And what's awesome about that is you can control the volume of those sends. So we want our cello, viola, and violin to be somewhere around the same, but you can tell they're a little bit different. But we want our piano a lot lower. We don't want as much reverb. So rather than mixing the dry-wet signal on each of the reverbs on the chain, we can just mix the volume send. And one thing to take note is that it is still being routed to our stereo out and also being routed to our reverb. Okay, so it's 2 sends of information. It sends to the stereo out and it sends to our bus. And then the bus is routed to the stereo out. And then on this bus, you can control how dry or wet the signal is. So usually when I do something like this, I like to make this reverb all the way wet because I already have dry information going to my stereo out. So that's just the concept of using a bus. So let's jump into our DAW and learn how to create these tracks and how to use them in a real world example. So here in Pro Tools, we have a couple of vocal tracks. So right here, we've got our lead. Can you clap with me? And it's a little bit dry, so I want some reverb and delay on that thing. So let's go right here on the sends, and if that's not there, you can right-click and make sure that that is selected. All right, so there's a check mark. And I'm just going to go on A. So when you click on that, you can send it to outputs, or buses, or tracks, or new tracks. So right now, we're going to focus on bus. So I'm just going to send this to a stereo bus, because I want to send other things to this. So you can do mono or stereo. So then it pulls this guy up. Right? So this is your bus send. So right now we're sending nothing. So the more you turn it up, the more we're sending, the more information, right? So now we are sending 0 dB or we are sending the equal amount that is right here, right? So if we want to go, let's say negative 18 dB that we're going to send, all right? So then let's jump over to our mix window. And right here, we are going to create a new track. So let's make sure that it's stereo because we sent to a stereo track. And then right here we do aux input because this is an auxiliary track. And then create. All right, so now this is our aux track. And we need to make sure that we route the input right here to stereo 1 and 2. All right, so now this is being routed to this. Okay, so we can see that when we push play, we're getting signal right there. So let's say we want to throw on a delay. Grab a preset and mix it all the way wet. So now stand up, can you clap with me? Stand up. We've got our delay. So we can increase that volume. Okay, remember this is back this guy's send. Okay. So let's say we want to do that same thing on these other guys. So we're going to copy that over with Option and click. And then we can send this guy lower because it's a backing vocal. So let's say we only want to send this guy 23 dB. And we'll apply that to both backing vocals. Stand up, can you clap with me? Stand up, can you move your feet? Maybe let's turn this lead guy down a little bit. Do this one more time. And then you can control the volume independently on this bus, right? So these guys are sending by their corresponding amounts. And then on your actual bus channel, you can control that volume as well. You just got to make sure that your input is always selected to the bus outputs that you are trying to route to. You can also do this in your edit window. I just wanted to show you in the mix window because I feel like it's a little bit easier to see what's going on. Remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel and sign up for my email list where I will send you exclusive content that I only send to the people on that list. And also head over to the website, itsthatAudioguide.com, and I will see you guys soon.